Greetings, Homeworthy. I'm Dr. Bill Dorfman, and welcome to my home in Century City, California. Come on in.
You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
I'm Dr. Bill Dorfman. I am a cosmetic dentist, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. I'm also an inventor, an entrepreneur, a philanthropic donor, and I lead a very robust and popular summer program for high school and college kids called LEAP. So I have a pretty full life. Right now, we are in Century City, California. Century City is basically adjacent to Beverly Hills in the Los Angeles area. And I'm living on the 30th floor of the most beautiful condominium complex in Los Angeles. This project was initiated about 10 years ago. I moved in and tore everything out. It was a 4-bedroom condominium. It is now a 2-bedroom condominium with this beautiful office behind me. And I love it here, and it's just a really comfortable, easy place to live. People often ask me how I became a celebrity cosmetic dentist, and it's kind of a funny story. I mean, first of all, being in Century City, you're kind of in the heart of Beverly Hills and Hollywood and everything that's glitz and glamour. But I started off my practice. I was this poor kid who came from the valley and, didn't really rub elbows with anybody rich or famous. But being in this area exposed me to a lot of really cool people. And I started dating a woman who worked at one of the biggest talent agencies in town, and all of her friends that were in the mailroom with her have all gone on and become the biggest agents in Hollywood. So they all became my friends and my patients, and then their clients became my friends and my patients, and then one refers another who refers another, like Jason Phelps, who was running Virgin, referred Jessica Simpson, who brought in Nick Lachey, who brought in Katy Perry, who brought in Fergie, and it just grew and grew and grew and grew. And before you knew it, my big break was when ABC asked me to be the featured dentist on their hit show, Extreme Makeover. And that propelled my practice, cosmetic dentistry, and Zoom whitening into a whole new stratosphere that I never in my life dreamed would happen, but am very, very thankful for. Welcome to my entryway. So I wanted it so that you walk straight out of the elevators right into my condo. So I blew out these walls. Everybody else has like a little door here, but I wanted it just to be open. This is a collaboration. My dear friend Jabu, who's an artist, created the image for me, and then I added all the colors. And so we kind of did that piece together. I was a painter in a former life. This is a piece by my famous patient, Anne Evans, who's a beautiful artist. And after doing her entire mouth, she gave that to me as a thank you. And I want to keep it here, so it warms my heart every time I walk into my condominium. So now let's go into the living room. The thing that attracted me to this unit the most was this beautiful view. You see all of Los Angeles. Fox Studios is down here. And if you look to the right, you actually see the ocean. So I get a beautiful sunset every night. This building here is the Towering Inferno, also used in the movie Die Hard with Bruce Willis. This piano is actually my daughter's piano. Her name is Anna Sky, and she is starting an illustrious singing career. You're going to see her everywhere. September 20th, her first song drops called Loving You Is Hard. She's been working with A.C. Burrell and Diane Warren, and you will see On a Sky, and this is the piano she did all of her original work on. When I first moved in, I had two fireplaces, one on this side and one on the opposite side. And then what I did is I blew out this wall and built a fireplace in the middle, and then I thought, I'm in California, who needs a fire? So instead I put in these candles. I don't need the heat. These couches were designed specifically for this room. I love the crescent shape, and they're super, super comfortable. For me, furniture has to be comfortable and beautiful. If it isn't both, I don't want it. On this table here is one of my favorite pieces. It's from my dear friend Richard McDonald. It's called Leap of Faith. And he gave this to me because of my LEAP program. And you'll see later on in the tour, I have another piece by Richard McDonald. He's an amazing sculptor and a very dear friend of mine. Over here is a piece. Now, everybody always says, why do you have a shirt hanging on the wall? But if you look closely, it's not actually a shirt of material. These are all screws. And this artist is Andrew Myers, and he does these amazing pieces using three-dimensional figures, all done with screws. This piece weighs over 300 pounds, so it's supported on the wall. And here we have a reduced version of a real Klieg light. So if ever we get attacked, I will be the first one to tell you I spotted the planes in the air. Actually, it's from Restoration Hardware, and I love this piece. It's just a decorative piece for my living room. I think one of the most memorable moments of my career was one of the most impactful. And that was the day I got a phone call from Howard Schultz. Not Howard Schultz Starbucks, Howard Schultz, the creator of ABC's hit show Extreme Makeover. And Howard called me up and asked me if I would entertain the idea of being the featured dentist on that show. Now, reality TV was at its inception. Nobody really knew how these things were going to go. And my biggest fear was that they were going to exploit these patients and make it something that maybe I didn't want to be involved in. But I met with Howard Schultz, and I met with Jackie Pittman, and my dear friend Dr. Garth Fisher had already committed to being on the show. And I got the feeling from them that this was going to be a great thing. You see, I was doing cosmetic dentistry, and you know, when you transform somebody's smile, it's a very personal thing. You maybe share it with the patient, or maybe the patient and you know, and a spouse or a sibling or a partner. But to be able to do that, and this is before cable TV, so to be able to do that and have 20 million viewers watching that every single week on primetime TV. You have to understand, dentistry had never been on primetime TV, especially not in a positive way. It was mind-blowing. I mean, it literally transformed my entire industry. And they say that cosmetic dentistry increased by 30% across North America basically overnight. And it propelled Zoom tooth whitening to become the largest tooth whitening system in the world. So there were so many things that happened as a result of this show that were just phenomenal and completely and totally unplanned. Welcome to my office. So the original idea was to put an actual aquarium on this wall. However, at the end of the day, the weight of the water was too much for the building to sustain, so we put a virtual aquarium, and I'll be honest with you, it was a smart move. I actually have never killed a fish, and I couldn't say that about my old aquariums. Here we have a bookshelf. I love to travel, and every time I travel, I always buy something from wherever I am. For instance, this is when I went to my dear friend's wedding in Italy. These pieces and everything, this is from London, from France, from Greece. This was from China. This is an actual museum piece from China. This is actually not a real skull. If it was, it would be worth like billions of dollars. But being a dentist, I love big teeth. This is when I launched the campaign for Oral-B. Everything on this is my favorite piece of all. My daughters bought me this. This was my 65th birthday present, and all three of my girls were on here. This is actually my eye. We saw that in France. I had that done, and then just a bunch of awards and things throughout my life I've gathered. One of the cool things about this room is I built a bed into the wall here. So this is a Murphy bed. So if all my kids are sleeping over, I have space, and this just folds down. It's actually a really cozy bed. Probably my favorite thing in this office is the floor. This is actually ostrich hide, and I got this from the King of Qatar. Another thing that's super significant to me is this sword. I am the first dentist ever to be knighted by the Royal Order of Constantine. It was a huge ceremony, and we keep this displayed on the wall here. But the rest of this office is really just little knickknacks of my travels all over the world, and kind of reminds me of happy things. So butterflies play a big role in my life. These are little baccarat crystal butterflies that a patient gave me. If you look on the shelves, you can see I have butterflies all over. And I didn't really realize the significance until my patient, who's a sweet young woman named Sophie, gave me these. And she said, "Dr. Bill, you change people's lives just like the chrysalis phase of a butterfly." And I thought, oh my gosh, you're right. I think my favorite place to travel is to Europe, and specifically to Switzerland. I did a 2-year residency there, and I kind of feel like it's my second home. My godson is there. I have many friends that still live there, and I just went there and spent a week there with my kids this summer, and it was phenomenal. It's one of the most beautiful countries in the world. So finally, I had a really hard time finding the perfect desk for my office. I went to the Pacific Design Center, and I went through every single showroom till I found this desk. And it's just very modern, very simple, and really woody. And I like that. And I like to keep my desk kind of clean. I don't really keep it cluttered. All I have is a little bit of work to do in my computer, and that's pretty much it. I'd love to show you my dining room and kitchen now. Now, the funniest thing about my kitchen, I don't cook. Like, I've never cooked. I have the most amazing kitchen. So when I do dinner parties, I hire a chef, they cook, and I just pay a lot. And that works. People often ask me, how'd you find this condominium complex? It's actually a really funny story. Paula Abdul has become a great friend, and she's been a patient of mine ever since day one of American Idol. She is notoriously late. I mean, she comes out like, Paula. But one day she shows up on time. And I'm like, Paula, you're on time. She said, Doc, I live across the street now. I said, really? She goes, oh yeah. And you have to see this complex. The Century is absolutely beautiful. I said, well, is there space? She says, no, it's just starting. So I literally made an appointment that day. I came over, I met the building manager, I walked through, I looked at every single unit that was west facing with 4 bedrooms or more. And I not only bought 1 unit, but I bought 2 units, one for me and one for the ex-wife, because I wanted my kids and my ex-wife close to me. So I'm on the 30th floor, she's on the 18th floor, and it was a total home run. So I was staying at the Mandalay Bay, and I saw this beautiful Peter Lick piece. in the gallery there. And I thought, man, it just fits so beautifully in my house. So we went ahead and mounted this. Now here's the funny thing. It took me 8 hours with 6 guys to hang this. Why? Because it's actually 4 panels. And unbeknownst to me, each panel is supposed to be separated by about 1/4 of an inch, which makes it super easy, but I didn't know that. So I'm sitting here measuring and sitting, and it literally took 8 hours to get this whole thing lined up, but I love it. The only piece that survived from my old house was this. It is a 400-year-old English table. Believe it or not, it only fit in the elevator by 3 inches. We have a service elevator. If this table were 3 inches longer, it would not have made it into the elevator. It takes 8 grown men to pick this thing up. It is the heaviest thing ever, but I absolutely loved it and I would not move without it. Now, the chairs we kept also, and these are about 200-year-old chairs. I had to redo the bottoms, but this is actual leather that's painted, and it's a really beautiful piece. When we originally built this space, my architect put a wooden panel on this door, a white wooden panel. And when I opened it, I thought, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful inside. So we tore the wooden door off, put a glass one on, and turned it into a little bit of an art piece. These are glasses I've collected from all over the world. The ones on the top mean the most to me. Those are about 100 years old. That was from my grandma Minna's collection, and they were handcrafted in Austria. And they are literally 100 years old, and I never even use them. I just look at them and it kind of reminds me of grandma. As we go down this way, we'll enter into the kitchen. Now again, I've never cooked anything in here. The only thing I actually ever use in this whole kitchen is my Ninja, because every morning I make a smoothie. But other than that, I don't use anything in here. We put this beautiful backsplash in here, which is kind of cool and eclectic. And again, I have really great stuff in here, but I'm just not a cook. So this is a little sitting room. It's my kind of den. Occasionally I'll watch TV in here. If I'm ever going to watch anything during the day, I'll watch it in here, because in my bedroom it absolutely has to be pitch black, and you'll see my movie screen in there. But from the kitchen, we have a back service door and a laundry room, and then on the other side we have a really beautiful little powder room, and I'll show you something kind of cool in there. So if you had to describe the style of my house, it's indescribable, and you'll see in a minute. I mean, basically I walked in and I told my architect, tear out every wall you can unless it's a retaining wall. I wanted an open space. People thought I was crazy to take a 4-bedroom condo and turn it into a 2-bedroom condo, but I don't need 4 bedrooms, you know? I mean, if ever I have company, I have 1 room. If I absolutely need more space, I actually put a Murphy bed in the office here. So I like having a place where you're utilizing the entire area, and I do. I also love being in an office that's open to the house. I never want to be in my office and just be secluded and locked away, because I spend a lot of time in there. So it was important for me to blow out these walls and just make my office enter into the living space. When you first walk out of the elevators, I tore out all the walls there. Nobody else in the building did that. So you feel like you're walking into a New York apartment where it's very open and airy, and you kind of, you know, enter the whole space immediately. So butterflies are kind of a central theme in my life. The whole chrysalis thing and changing lives and all that's pretty much what I do on a day-to-day basis. And I had this idea to put in this art piece. So these are actual butterflies, and what we have on the back is a regular mirror. On the front, we have a one-way mirror. So you basically have a mirror facing a mirror on the inside, and that gives you this infinity feeling. And I saw something similar to this in my friend's restaurant, Chi-Lin, and I hired the artist to come. They had the butterflies hanging, and I didn't really like that, so we basically put all the butterflies on either the mirrors or this tree that we put in here. All right, so you've now seen the main living spaces. Let's show you the 2 bedrooms. Before we walk into the guest room, let me show you a little bit of my art gallery. I found this on Main Street in Deer Valley. I have a second house there. Again, just the hummingbirds, and I kind of love red. So anyhow, I love this piece. Audrey Hepburn, classic. This piece here is called Icons, and it has all of the most relevant icons pretty much in the world all on one piece. This piece was made by a patient of mine, Ryan McMahon, and he does painting on wood, but all of me is actually burned. This is not painted. This is done with a blowtorch. This was an emergency fire exit that they didn't need anymore, so I just covered it with this. As you go down the hall, this is a piece I got from a famous artist, Amy. I saw her in London and just loved this piece. But my favorite piece of all is this bronze piece by my dear friend, Richard McDonald, and all of his pieces rotate. This is called Orpheus Ascending, and Orpheus is actually lifting the woman he loves from the depths of hell. And you can see she's alive. Her hands are held up here, and she trusts him because he blindfolds her. And Richard used my torso for this, of course. As you come into this room, the guest room, we have my 3 girls. An old artifact from UCLA. I was a UCLA Yell Leader. Yes, go Bruins, and I've kept this since 1976. Pretty crazy. The biggest change I did in this area is this bathroom was twice the size, which I thought was a waste of space because it actually extended into the room about this far. So what I did was I cut this wall, I moved it back, it gave me a much bigger space in here. We mirrored this to open up the room, and then I built all of these bookshelves. Now, people said, Doc, who designed your room? I'm not gonna lie, I cheat. When I get ready to do something, I just take out different books, and I opened this up. I thought, man, I love this. So if you look, the wallpaper is exactly the same. The carpet's exactly the same. I even went so far as having my carpenter build a white frame around the windows to emulate this. And that way I knew I would love it because it's exactly like the picture in the book. Okay, so from this window you can see the famous CAA building. They actually flew a helicopter through it for the Mission Impossible movie. The 2 twin towers behind it were used in the Barbie movie, and you can barely see it, but way off to the right, that black building is my dental building. In front of us is the old Century Plaza Hotel, which is now a Fairmont. And believe it or not, when I first started practicing, a lot of kings and queens and royalty from all over the world stayed at that hotel, and the hotel referred them to me, and they're still my patients today. So it's still kind of cool and has very fond memories for me. I saw this beautiful Architectural Digest magazine layout, and the bedroom had this bookshelf with all these globes. These are not places I've been to. I just loved all the globes. So every time I find a globe that's small enough to fit in here, I buy it and copy that. One of the things I teach at my LEAP program is Copy Genius, and pretty much everything I do is reflective in that. So the wallpaper is from a company called Philip Jeffries. I also have my book, Billion Dollar Smile, which became a New York Times bestseller. So it's the first book on dentistry ever to become a New York Times bestseller. And I'm the first dentist ever to become a New York Times bestselling author. So that's pretty important to me. My very, very first celebrity famous patient, Esther Williams. She stayed with me all the way until the end of her life. And we had a lot of really, really great times and great stories together. And she will always be remembered as the $1 Million Mermaid. And I'm the $1 billion dentist. This is when we performed at the House of Blues with my dear friend, Dr. Dennis Wells, who is the Nashville equivalent of me as a cosmetic dentist. That's a beautiful piece from Kimberly Milko, who is a nature photographer out of Kenora, Canada. And she sends me beautiful pieces all the time. And this is my little girl Anna and I when we went to the Obama rally before he became president. Here I am with my brothers and my sister. We're 5 kids. That was probably taken when I was about 10, 11 years old. And Audrey Hepburn, iconic, and of course the Beatles. You can never go wrong with them as art. So this is the guest room. Let's go into the main bedroom now. If you ask me what my favorite room or space in this whole house is, I honestly couldn't pick one because I love them all. And if I didn't love them, I'd change them. But I think the two I spend the most time in are obviously my bedroom, when you'll see I have a really big, cozy, comfortable bed and a movie theater. And I love watching movies like at night and just chilling there. And then obviously my office behind me where I come in. I'm kind of notorious for not doing emails till about 11 or 12 o'clock at night. So usually at the end of my day, after I've seen patients, gone to the gym, gone out to dinner with friends and whatnot, I'll come in here, I'll do all my emails and everything, then I'll hit the bedroom and usually watch a little bit of something before I go to bed. All right, welcome to my bedroom. Now, this was the most complicated part of the remodel. We took 2 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and 3 closets and made 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, 1 closet, and a movie theater. So before we go into the bedroom, let's go into the closet. This was all designed basically to feel very open and airy. I found these boxes up on top at Bed Bath & Beyond and then literally built the closet around the boxes. So that kind of helped decide the sizing and everything. We put light in all the closets. Prior to the pandemic, I always wore a white shirt and tie to work. So I have hundreds of ties. I don't think I've worn a tie since the pandemic. Now I wear scrubs. It literally took a pandemic to get me to wear scrubs to work, but I wear scrubs every day. I built the bathroom to be kind of like a spa feeling. It's very open and airy. You can't feel this, but we have heated floors down below. As you walk into this area, we put in a Toto toilet and a urinal. Thing I love about Toto toilet is as soon as you come in, it kind of welcomes you. Hello. And if you notice also, I use a lot of mirrors. I put mirrors everywhere you can. It just opens up spaces. We built this shower. We have a rainforest on top and then a shower below. The hardest part of this bathroom, believe it or not, was the bathtub. Why? Well, a bathtub needs a drain. The drain for the building was not here. So the whole floor of this bathroom is elevated, and the drain for this actually goes from here into a pump. The pump then pumps the water up, over, down, and into this drain in the shower. So that is a $65,000 drain, believe it or not. But it's the only way we could put a bathtub in that area, and I absolutely wanted a bathtub there. So from here, we walk around. This is the only other piece that actually survived the move from my original house. I bought it in an art shop, and I just love the sculpture, and it fit perfectly right here. So I only kept two pieces from my original house, her and the table in the dining room. As you walk into my bedroom, we have, again, this magnificent view. On a clear day, you can see the ocean quite clearly. Today is a little bit of a foggier day. But my old house had a large primary bedroom, and I didn't want to move into a condominium and have a smaller room, so I actually kept the same carpet. I love this carpet. I have a second little workstation here if I need to. This is a gallery of my kids at all different stages of their life growing up. Over here are my grandparents. I actually had 4 sets of grandparents. It's a long story, but these are my grandparents. That's my mom up there, and pictures of me as a baby. The coolest thing about my bedroom is if you look up here, we built a soffit. Now, why did we build the soffit? Well, the reason we built the soffit is because I wanted a movie theater in my bedroom. And believe it or not, right here in the wall is a huge beam. So we had to build a projector that basically comes down on a lift. And that's why we have a soffit. So the projector drops down, and then the screen drops down over here as well. And this is the most comfortable movie theater in all of LA. I sit in bed and watch movies and just absolutely enjoy it. It's pretty amazing. So this picture is kind of epic. This is 32 years ago when my daughter Anna was born. That's Anna Sky. And it's actually the last picture of me with hair on my chest, because right after that I started doing Men's Health magazine, and we just lasered it off. In fact, this is for Tatler. It was soon after that. So this was actually in 2008 in my old house. And the cool thing is, October, I am on the cover of Men's Health in Australia. So this has always been a big goal. I'll be 66 years old on Monday, September 16th. I will be the oldest guy ever on the cover of Men's Health. So here's the balcony off of the kitchen, and I love this area. It's just great to sit out. When you come over here, you can see Fox Studios there. There's the building that was used for the Towering Inferno and also Die Hard. That's Olympic Boulevard that runs down to the beach. You've got downtown LA over here. One of the cool things we did was we put this mirror here, because when you're sitting here, you have this great view, but when you're sitting here, all you had was a view of the wall. So this way, no matter where you sit, you get a great view out. So that mirror really helps. Believe it or not, I have to keep this owl here, otherwise pigeons come and live on my porch, and it actually works, this owl. I have 2 trees. I only have to water 2 things in my entire condo. Everything else is fake. And she's a sweet little statue that I got from Bouchard Gardens in Canada with my kids. And it just kind of reminded me of my kids when they were little, so I keep it there. If you ask me what does home mean to me, it's just kind of your sanctuary, your safe place where, I mean, a lot of people live in their space a lot differently than I do. If you notice, there's literally no music in here. I love peace and quiet. As a dentist, I'm sitting in the office all day listening to like, and all. I come home, I have never in my life walked in here and it's like, oh, let's put on music. I don't do that. I like it silent. To me, silence is golden, and it's quiet, and I'm very minimalistic. I don't have anything more than I actually need. I like to keep it very clean and simple, and I like to utilize all the spaces. I have a piano. We play piano. We do music. Every single part of my living space is utilized. It's not like there's a room or a space that's never entered or never used. I hate that. It's such a waste, but I literally use every single part of my living space.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to go to homeworthy.com for exclusive content, shopping guides, and so much more.